Hi, it's Zatan here. Uh, I want to talk about Stargate and the reboot and what I think should happen. And it involves all three Stargates, it involves time travel logic and so on. Okay, well, first of all, there's a problem in Stargate with the way that time travel works because if you remember in SG1, you had a temporal loop, and this temporal loop didn't make any sense because you've seen non-looped time travel events in the Stargate universe, which is very confusing because how can you have a loop and a non-loop at the same time in the same context of reality? Uh, so I came up with this idea about Stargate universe where the origin of the drones and the origin of stuff of all of the distant universe's histories connect back to one event in Stargate universe where the ship splits reality. You know, two ships at the same time. And my idea is when you go back in time, you don't actually go back in time. You replicate your own time, or your time replicates other time to leave behind as a trace, if that makes sense. So essentially, you have a block, and it goes a long time, and then at one point that block is going to go back in time. But to fill in the void, a second block is created as a consequent time, uh, as a creation. Time gets created to fill in the gaps of this one original time, the gap of this one original time. And this one original time, because it goes back in time, time itself, because it's continuous, creates this new time. Because fraction of a second earlier you existed, now you don't exist. So, and then you exist again. But because you're already traveling through time, your former self, the 1 second earlier self, that's about to go through this time event can't go through it because you've already sent another version of yourself, the original version of yourself, back in time. And essentially that way, by creating a temporal vacuum of sorts, a creational vacuum, you can have two types of time travel at the same time. And my idea is that the original ship, the more powerful it becomes, the faster it moves, the more conscious it becomes. So you got all these trillions of years of, all these thousands of years of history with this ship traveling in its standard speeds, absorbing information, charging up, and this ship, uh, the faster it moves, the more power it gets, the smarter it becomes. So when the ship connected to the temporal event inside its star, it became conscious, and one aspect of it, one version of its consciousness, went got sucked back into time, back through time, together with the shuttle that the people of Destiny that created all those civilizations took. It attached itself to the shuttle that they took to land on the planet. And essentially, that is the origin of all of the drone war things. The drone armada. Although if they are conscious, they should be called droids. Drone, droids, android, and whatever. You know, drones that are conscious should be called droids. So, whatever. In any case, and this combination between a loop and general progression of time makes a lot of sense, because if you think about it, every time you send a wormhole past a star, that wormhole must is designed with the same technology that Destiny is designed with, so it probably has a function inside that feeds off the energy of the star, so it gets super powerful, and then you send people through time to one place, but at the same time you still have that trail of past. So if you change time, that trail nullifies. It doesn't exist anymore, and the people come back into the new shape of time. But if you get a temporal loop, all that destiny simply stops at one point, because it can't go any further, because you get a wall of temporal super timeness, a temporal wall, because it hits a temporal wall and it can't continue onward. And technically speaking, you could theoretically use that to summon forth different generations of the Stargate crew. I think if you go into a higher temporal state than the higher temporal state required to time travel. You know, because if you were a Superman fan, Wave Rider not only exists outside of time, he can also control the time that is outside of time. So our time, higher time, even higher time. The even higher time could theoretically use temporal wall hitting time to summon back every Stargate member that's ever time traveled. That'd be awesome.